This week at the PGA Tour just felt different. You could sense it the moment the first balls were in the air. That mix of pressure, opportunity, and chaos that only happens when a tournament can flip a player's momentum in a heartbeat. As a golf fan, this is the kind of moment that makes you lean forward on the couch, because you know careers can quietly change right here. And what makes it even crazier is where this is happening. One of the loudest environments in golf, a course that rewards bravery but punishes hesitation, and a leaderboard that suddenly tells a very interesting story about who's ready and who isn't. This matters for confidence, for status, and honestly, for belief. You can feel it. There's a lot to unpack from what went down, and trust me, if you follow the PGA Tour week in and week out, you're gonna have opinions about this one. Before we get into it, real quick, if you're a true golf fan, hit that like button, consider subscribing. This channel is brand new. We're chasing our first 100 subscribers, and this is a space for people who actually love the PGA Tour, not just headlines. All right, let's talk about what really happened out there. Because once you look past the noise and the atmosphere, the storylines from this week at the WM Phoenix Open are actually fascinating. First of all, credit where it's due. Adrian Sadier is still learning what life on the PGA Tour really means, and this week felt like a genuine step forward. After missing the cut at the Sony Open and the Farmers, and finishing way down the board at the American Express, this could have easily gone sideways again. Instead, he stayed patient. A solid opening 68, then a 71 on Friday, and suddenly he's playing the weekend at one of the most intimidating venues on the entire schedule. And let's talk about that round on Friday. A double bogey early on the second hole could have rattled him, especially on a course like TPC Scottsdale where momentum is everything. But that's where I was honestly impressed. He answered back with birdies on 5, 13, and 17, and that 17th hole, wow. Short par 4, driver in hand over 300 yards, and the ball ends up inside 6 meters. That's not just surviving, that's committing. That's a player starting to believe he belongs out here. Now on the flip side, this week was a tough one to watch for Mathieu Pavon. He came in playing solid golf, hadn't missed a cut yet this season, and for most of Friday it looked like he'd cruise through again. Then the closing stretch happened, and golf can be absolutely brutal sometimes. He's 3 under standing on the 17th tee, and that hole just eats him alive. Drive in the water, 3 putts, double bogey. Then he steps to 18 needing something positive, and instead makes another double after a wayward drive and a missed short game shot. Suddenly, he's out. +3 total, and just like that, his first missed cut of the season. That's the kind of finish that stays with you for a few days, no doubt about it. But while some guys were just trying to survive, others were absolutely flying. At the top of the leaderboard, Ryo Hisatsune put on a show. A 63 on Friday, 8 under par, and he's sitting alone at 12. This is the same guy who won the Open de France last year, and at just 23 years old, you can see the confidence growing fast. The scary part? He closed his round like a veteran, playing the final 6 holes in 6 under. That's not luck, that's control. Right behind him is Hideki Matsuyama, and honestly, that's a name that immediately raises the tension. Masters champion, proven closer, and he fires a 64 after a 68 to get to 11. He and Hisatsune both tearing apart the final stretch tells you exactly how gettable this course became when the confidence kicked in. And then you look a little further down the board, and it's stacked. Akshay Bhatia, Sahith Theegala, and Matt Fitzpatrick all sitting at 7. That's a dangerous group. players who know how to win and aren't afraid of the moment. Even Scottie Scheffler, who looked completely off after an opening 73, reminded everyone why he's world number one. A bogey-free 65 on Friday, 6 under, and suddenly he's back inside the top 30 at 4. That's Scheffler in a nutshell. Never panics, just adjusts and charges. When you step back and look at the big picture, this week is doing exactly what the WM Phoenix Open always does. It exposes nerves, rewards courage, and reshuffles confidence. For Sadier, it's proof that progress on the PGA Tour isn't always loud. Sometimes it's just making the weekend and stacking good decisions. For Pavan, it's a reminder of how thin the margins are. And at the top, you've got young fire-meeting proven champions, with one of the loudest crowds in golf waiting to explode. That's what makes this weekend so exciting. This leaderboard isn't settled, not even close. One great stretch, one bad swing, and everything changes, especially on this course. And that's why I love this tournament. If you enjoyed this breakdown, hit the like button and jump into the comments. I really want to know who you think takes this thing on Sunday. And if you're into honest, fan-to-fan PGA Tour talk, make sure you subscribe to PGA Tour Today. The channel's brand new, we're chasing our first 100 subscribers, and if you love golf the way I do, you're exactly who this channel is for.